So just based on the angle of where I'm sitting, I can't actually see my monitor right now, so I kind of think you can see me, but I'm kind of not sure. Hopefully this will work out. Hey, Megan here. Thank you for joining me. So last month I was getting into kind of like my arts and crafts stuff, but this month I am getting back into my houseplants and hopefully helping you diagnose what's going on with your houseplants while seeing that even though I run a houseplant channel, I am not perfect when it comes to keeping my plants functional and alive. Or flourishing. They're very functional and they're very alive for now. I just have to make sure they stay that way. So this is my prayer plant and I want to show you this guy. Again, he's pretty big. I've had him, let's say about 2 years now. And he's been a pretty solid plant to have, except lately he's been getting these brown tips. And I think you can see that. So I wanted to talk to you about why I think this is happening and the things I can do to rectify it, because I really don't want to lose this guy. He is a staple of my living room and is somebody I like. He's very pretty. So there's a couple of reasons that you would get brown tips on a plant. And if you think about it, I think of it sort of like hypothermia with a human body, and the human body, to survive something like hypothermia, will often start shutting down appendages to keep the internal system alive, like the organs and the super necessary bits. And plants are the same way. They really want to make sure that the root system and the actual leaves are as healthy as possible. So they'll push out any kind of crap that's in their system. And that's what I think is going on here. So a couple of reasons that your plants might be turning brown, especially these kind of plants, calatheas and prayer plants and those kind of things. One is too little water or moisture. And this sort of works in reverse of what I said, where there's too little moisture, it'll kind of start to suck in the resources and bring it into the critical systems, which is why it would start having these kind of tips. It just kind of wants to make sure, okay, everything at the end is expendable. We have to conserve resources and bring them in here. Now, another reason is uneven watering, and that is when you focus heavily on one side of the plant and not the other, and don't make sure that the soil is actually soaking up the water and getting it through into the root system. If it's an uneven watering pattern, then the plant kind of doesn't know what to expect resource-wise, so it will begin to, again, conserve resources. Another reason that you might get this is water quality, especially if you use tap water. A lot of the water systems in the United States, and I'm sure around the world too, have fluoride and salts and things like that in them already. And so most plants can't really handle that kind of stuff, and using it too much can really be a problem. Another reason is if it gets too much sun, and that begins, again, the conserving of resources. It lets the ends fry off and deal with that later, but it brings all of the internal necessities back into the critical system so that it survives. So if you have a lot of sun on your calatheas, they usually don't like that. They're usually kind of mid-light to sometimes even low light, depending on the type you have. So they can handle a wide variety, but if you get them in something that's too sunny, it's gonna end up getting some kind of crunchy leaves. And lastly is too hot, too cold, so extreme temperature changes. Calatheas are tropical plants, but they don't need to have super humid, super hot climates to function. Thank God, because I live in upstate New York and it's getting super hot here. But if they had something suddenly happen, like we got a cold snap or we got a sudden heat wave in my house, that could really cause a shock to the plant system, and that's why it would start to brown. Now, the reason I suspect my poor guy has brown tips is because of water quality. I use rainwater for my plants, and I have a video that shows you my whole water setup. If I don't plan properly, I'll have to resort to using tap water, and I think that it is a big shock to my plants when I have to do that, especially if I do that a couple of times. And that's another reason I think that this kind of side is drooping. I think that it was just, I wasn't being very nice to it, and just goes to show you how badly I need to plan better for the water resources I use. But this is probably, that's my reason, because I haven't moved it except to bring it down here and show you. It gets consistent light. It has the same light it's had when it was healthy, and I don't think it has anything to do with the level of water. You know, it's been on the same water routine for a while, and we haven't had any sort of significant temperature shifts in my house. So I'm guessing that this is most likely due to the water quality. So I'm going to take this as a lesson not to skimp on my rainwater and hopefully bring this guy back to life. Now, you might be wondering, like, should I cut these off? And you can. It's up to you. These will never grow back. They're not going to suddenly skimp up and become green again. But what I have found is that if you do clip these, what can happen is, I'm trying to find if I have any here. Doesn't look like it. If you're not careful about fixing the error of your ways, then where you cut can also start to brown and can start to go into the leaf further. So it kind of becomes a slippery slope when it comes to clipping these. Now, what I think I'm going to do is change the water routine, give this about a month to see if it starts to feel better, and if it doesn't, then I'll probably start making some clips. But right now, I think that I just need to get this poor guy some delicious rainwater instead of some salty tap water. And hopefully that'll help. And hopefully that helps you too. Good luck. And I will see you in the next video.